What's going on, everybody? HR Falcons 22 back here again at doing now the fourth installment of the Snuff and Stuff video series. I'm actually super excited to do this video. Got back actually about a week ago from, on Wednesday, from Rome, from Italy. That was a really good time. I'll tell you guys a little bit about that, and then we'll get into my favorite dip, because a lot of people have been asking me, like, hey man, what's your favorite dip? And I know that there's no way you could have known, and it's cool if you message me on Twitter, if you hit up my Instagram, asking me, you know, what's my favorite dip and everything. But I figured I would just make a video, settle once and for all what my favorite dip is. So we'll get into that, and then I'll tell you guys a little bit about some of the new music, some of the really, really good music that I've been listening to, just especially traveling around and meeting all these people from all these different places. Everybody here really listens to really good music, and it's very different, it's very diverse, and I love listening to music probably now more than ever. So let's go ahead and get started. Hope everybody is doing fantastic, and hope you're all ready to relax and chill and enjoy this lovely Saturday. It is an absolutely beautiful Saturday here in Rotterdam in the Netherlands. I feel like I should probably be outside doing something with my life, but it's alright. Went to go work out earlier, went to the library for maybe like 10 minutes, and then decided it was too nice outside and just took a walk. Now I'm back here, probably going to go to the park later, take a dip there too. I don't know, maybe have a barbecue. We'll see. Alright, anyways, so I'm going to throw in a little bit of the Copenhagen Snuff, or actually a good amount of the Copenhagen Snuff. And so you get your little morsel of Copenhagen Snuff, right? What I've been doing, as of late especially, because I noticed that no matter how well you pack, especially snuff, no matter how well you pack it, no matter how good you are about keeping it pressed up against the side of your lip with your tongue and everything, eventually if you keep a lipper in for an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time, especially snuff, it's going to fall apart on you eventually. So what I've been doing, and I'll throw in just a little bit more snuff right here, and messy. And so what I've been doing is throwing in just a little bit of Copenhagen long cut along with the snuff. I did this, the first time I did this actually, maybe it was in my last video, or I noticed it especially when I was on the flight back from Rome. I put a lipper of snuff in. It was kind of starting to fall apart on me about halfway through the flight, like an hour into the flight. I had a can of long cut on me, and I just threw in a little bit of Cope long cut with it, and I noticed it sort of makes a binder, a nice little, not filler I would say, but it keeps everything together a lot better than if you just had snuff in your lip alone. So still don't have a mud jug, just fitting in my red Solo cup. So and granted, I wanted to go on a rant about this for so long, and don't get me wrong, like Darcy, I respect the fuck out of the fact that you managed to make a business out of making spittoons and everything. But at the same time, I think it's even more fucking brilliant that you aligned it so closely with the dip culture, because now everybody's like, oh, if I don't have a mud jug, then I'm not a real dipper. I have to get a mud jug to prove my dipping, I don't know, prowess, I guess, to other people. So fucking props. Shrewd businessman right there. And I have to admit, I'm not even mad about it. I respect the fuck out of it. So, and also I don't want you to kick the fuck out of me, because let's be honest, Darcy's like 6'5" and yoked as fuck, and I'm like, I don't know, just sitting here in my little room doing a dip review or whatever. So I don't know, hopefully maybe I'll just take steroids and be like Darcy one day. We'll see. But anyways, let's go ahead and throw in a little bit of Copenhagen long cut to accompany this morsel of Copenhagen snuff. So, alright. First things first. Fuck, sorry, can't even talk. Bad start. Gonna move it over. Stories from Rome. Stories from Italy, really. So, the entire reason that we went to Italy, I think really the only reason I wanted to go to Italy in the first place was because A, Assassin's Creed 2, B, Dan Brown's Angels and Demons, which if you haven't read Angels and Demons or The Da Vinci Code or any of Dan Brown's books, just shut down your computer right now. Just shut off your computer, go to your local bookstore, or get online, get your mom's Kindle or something, read Angels and Demons and read The Da Vinci Code. They're fucking awesome books. That's really like half the reason why I wanted to go to Italy was because I thought I was in Angels and Demons the entire time. So we ended up going to Italy. We decided to go about a month ago. Why were we going to Italy? Well, we decided that we would go to this small little beach town on the east coast of Italy called Rimini. And what happens in Rimini pretty much every summer is there's a Tchoukball tournament. If you don't know what Tchoukball is, like 99.9% of the world, just go up to YouTube, go look it up. It's spelled Tchouckball, B-A-L-L. And pretty much what it is, it's like the bastard child of volleyball and team handball. There's 2 teams of five people each. You play on like a volleyball-sized court, and we were playing on the beach in this place called Rimini. And so you get on this volleyball-sized court. At either end of the court is a small, probably about the size of a strike zone, actually. It's a frame, like a frame that has this bungee cord material, like this trampoline material in the middle of it. So it's sort of like a pitchback, one of those things that you would throw baseballs at in your backyard, and it would just ricochet the ball back at you. That's on either center end of the court. So you take turns, each team takes turns shooting at this. It's inclined upwards, this whole frame with the tramp material in it. So you have to launch the ball at a downward angle at this net, and your goal is to get the ball to ricochet off the net and land outside of this, it's like a 5-foot radius semicircle that surrounds each frame, and you can't set foot in the frame, or you can't set foot in the semicircle. I think if you do, you lose a point, or if you ricochet the ball off of the net and it doesn't make it beyond the semicircle, then the other team gets a point. You're also only allowed to make 3 passes, not including an inbound pass, and you're only allowed to take 3 steps. So pretty much we show up to this place called Rimini. I get a flight with, the people that are going are my roommates Dan Kelsey, Jordan. Jordan had played Tchoukball in high school, so at least he knew a little bit about it. But they all went to Milan on, I think, last Thursday. Me and my buddies, Brian and Philippe from Montreal, were going on Friday morning to Milan. So us three, me, Brian, Philippe, show up to Milan, spend like 45 minutes in Milan. We're in a park. Brian has horrible gas, and then some dude offered us cocaine, and we were like, no, thanks, dude. We're only here for 45 minutes. So from Milan, we get on this train. We go to this beach town called Rimini. And all these people are in town from all over the place, just here to play Tchoukball. And we end up staying at this hotel where they just have, it was so cheap. It was 100 euros a person for 3 nights, all inclusive, breakfast, lunch, dinner, every meal, wine at dinner, as much espresso, coffee, like as you could drink. And you also got entrance into some of the beach festivals, like the dance parties and the beer fests or whatever. The first night we were there, actually, between 8 of us, we drank probably like 12 liters of beer, which is a lot, and then just got up and left. I thought maybe I was probably so drunk that I just like threw money on the table, but apparently nobody paid for it, so I feel kind of bad about that. But our Argentinian friend also came with us, Lataro. So the entire group was me, Brian, Philippe. Brian was actually in my Makla Afrikia review. My roommates Dan, Kelsey, Jordan, and Jordan's little sister Hannah, and then Lataro, this fucking goofy-ass dude from Argentina. So we show up to this Tchoukball tournament, and the first night, of course, we didn't play any Tchoukball when we finally got to Rimini. We end up just going out and like getting absolutely very intoxicated the first night, showing up in the morning hungover to our first game of Tchoukball ever. We didn't even know the rules of this game until after we played our first game. So we're like just get absolutely washed by this team of like 14-year-old Swiss Tchoukball prodigies. So that was utterly embarrassing, but we end up getting the hang of it. We end up winning 2 games by some divine miracle. I'm not even sure how. And pretty much every time we'd finish a game, we were that team that people would call. They'd be like, "All right, Team Mojo Rising has a game on this court," and we would just set our beers down, go play the game, and then come back and get more beers. We would also just spend a lot of time hanging out on the rocks. The rocks were pretty much just our place of solitude, our place of team strategy and everything. And it was just they were just these really big flat rocks that were set up in the shallows of the ocean right there. and they had set them up so that they could harvest mussels and harvest different types of shellfish and everything off of these rocks. So we would just go hang out there, like tan, drink wine and everything. So it was a good time. It was really fun. How our hotel is even still standing is beyond me, because we had some crazy nights there. So anyways, moving on from Rimini, we finished this Tchoukball tournament. We lose to like a team of all girls, which was super embarrassing. I did have a meet the Fockers moment where I just launched this ball into this net and it ricocheted off and nailed this girl in the face. And so I was secretly like, yeah, fuck yeah. But outwardly I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Can I do anything to help? But anyways, we get done with that whole thing. We get done with the Tchoukball tournament, and we get on this train to go to Rome. And I really was not expecting, I didn't really know what to expect from Rome. Obviously, it's a city that's been there forever. It's been on this earth longer than, well, anybody on this earth has been here. And it's going to be here for a long time after you and I are both gone. But the thing is, I still felt like it was a very happening city. Like, we checked into our hostel, and there were people outside trying to sell you laser pointers, trying to sell you all sorts of cheap stuff. At every tourist attraction that you went to, there was always just somebody trying to sell you something. But it never felt pushy. It always felt like everybody was family in Italy. Like on the train ride from Rimini, or from Milan to Rimini, I just saw people who were complete strangers talking with one another as if they were long lost friends. And that's really something that I noticed about Italy especially. They're very sociable people, very cool people, very fun to be around. So if you ever get the chance, please just go to Italy. It's a very, very fun time. Cheaper than you would imagine, actually, as well. So once we get to Rome, we end up going to see all these, different tourist attractions. St. Peter's Basilica, which was incredible. You go to see the Sistine Chapel and everything, and that place was just nuts. It was really crazy. St. Peter's Basilica, the Pantheon, the Trevi Fountain, the Colosseum, like all these different places, and you just got the sense of like, whoa, this place used to be the center of the world. Like the emperors and Nero and Caligula and just all these, Caesar, like all the decisions that were made that pretty much altered the course of history were made potentially on the ground that you were standing on. So that was really probably the best part about Rome. I absolutely love Rome. I cannot wait to get back to that place. So we go out a few nights in Rome. I mean, there's not really much to say. Like, we got drunk and it was fun. So then from Rome, we come back here. We just fly back to Rotterdam. That was the end of the Italy trip. Met a bunch of cool people. Played Tchoukball. I'm actually addicted to Tchoukball. Like, I want to go play Tchoukball again. I would really love to go back to Rimini next year. So if you're trying to field a Tchoukball team, hit me up, because I actually know how to play now, at least. So anyways, moving on to some of the, or actually my favorite dip. Because a lot of people, as I said, have been asking me, hey man, what's your favorite dip? And my answer to that question is that it really kind of depends. It depends on what I'm doing or what the occasion is or really who I'm with and everything. I've stated before in one of my other videos, I think maybe my first video, that I really enjoy Copenhagen Straight, particularly when I'm in social settings with people who are not my close friends and I don't want my breath to smell like shit. Copenhagen Straight is the go-to dip for like just thrown in at parties. I really like straight too for golfing. Really anything I do outdoors, I just enjoy the spiciness, I guess, of Copenhagen. Because if I try to take a dip of Copenhagen long cut, like while I'm working outside or mowing my lawn or something like that, I always just feel like it's not enough flavor. It's nice and it's earthy and it's organic tasting, but I definitely enjoy the spiciness, the little bit more of flavor that you get out of Copenhagen Straight. I also really love the texture of Copenhagen Straight. That's probably what sets it apart from really even Copenhagen Long Cut. I mean, depending on how fresh of a can you get and everything, I really enjoy Copenhagen Straight. But at the same time, if we're talking about just a standard situation where I'm chilling out with my friends, playing NHL or getting on Xbox 360 and just hanging out, Copenhagen Long Cut is my go-to dip. I absolutely love Copenhagen Long Cut. I've stated before in some of my other videos that my buddy who's in the Marine Corps pretty much says that Copenhagen long cut is the standard, the unofficial official dip of the Marine Corps. But I know that a lot of Marines also chew, a lot of armed forces actually, chew Grizzly and everything because they're a bunch of badass, like crazy motherfuckers. But Copenhagen long cut is pretty much my gold standard. Copenhagen straight is right up there as, you know, my number 2, my runner-up, really. If I'm using pouches, if I'm taking a break from long cut and I'm using pouches, I usually just go for the cheapest option possible. You know, why would I go with the Copenhagen long cut pouches, which really all you're getting with the Copenhagen long cut pouches is just the same flavor as Copenhagen long cut. Because they're pouches, the texture, I guess the texture aspect doesn't really come into play as much as it would if you were just chewing long cut. So if I'm chewing pouches, it's usually, I do enjoy Grizzly pouches. I do like Cope Wintergreen pouches. I do like some of the Skull pouches and everything. But for the most part, if I am chewing pouches, it's usually Grizzly. It's usually just the cheapest stuff that I can get my hands on. So without, I mean, unequivocally, as a final statement, Copenhagen long cut is my favorite dip. It is my preferred dip, usually my go-to dip for really anything that doesn't require physical exertion. If I'm playing golf or I'm doing something outside, then it's Copenhagen straight, just because I like the sweetness of it. But for anything else, even if I'm just chilling, walking somewhere, driving somewhere, Copenhagen long cut is the go-to dip. So, anyways, moving on, now that we've answered that raging question, some of the new music that I've been listening to. As I said, I went to Italy with Brian and Philippe, the 2 dudes from Montreal, and Philippe especially really listens to a lot of eclectic music, a lot of really, really good music. My roommate Jordan works for the radio station. He's a DJ for the radio station back at South Carolina. So he's big into music. He's, you know, very well versed in like upcoming artists and sort of a hipster when it comes to like, oh, have you heard of this band? Well, like I have. But anyways, the people that I've been listening to, I've been assembling sort of this pseudo dip / chill / travel playlist. And some of my favorite artists include the John Butler Trio, who I just recently started listening to. And the cool thing about John Butler is he used to be a busker, just a, you know, standard street performer in Australia, I think. And then he just hits it big time, really just looks like a chill dude. One of my friends actually saw John Butler live in Amsterdam, I think last week, and said his live show was absolutely incredible. So if you watch John Butler Trio, especially just John Butler, perform live, super talented dude, very talented guitarist. Some of my favorite songs by him, Zebra, Used to Get High, and Ocean. Ocean's pretty much the encore, the finale song that he plays at every one of his concerts, and it is a masterpiece. So, John Butler Trio, check him out. This band, I think it's a band, maybe it's just a single guy, but it's Portugal the Man is the name of the musical overarching group, the band, or the single guy, his stage name, Portugal, the Man. And my favorite song by him is this song called Modern Jesus. Really a good song. I really like that song. Jordan actually got me into recently, and I had never really listened to him before, which is surprising because I know they've been out for at least since 2001, The Strokes. I really started listening to The Strokes, and I think the biggest appeal for me and The Strokes, obviously they're an East Coast band. They all the members of the band come from these very cosmopolitan families, very wealthy families. They went to private boarding schools, and, you know, they come from this very cultured, wealthy, affluent upbringing. But their album called Is This It? Has pretty much been exalted by every music critic out there. And granted, they did receive favorable reviews by the album called Is This It? Was named like the number 3 most influential album of the decade by Rolling Stone. But Rolling Stone is a very East Coast biased magazine, at least as far as music is concerned. But the entire album, Is This It? Really an awesome album. It has kind of this gritty New York street brawler, like rags to riches undertone to it. And that's mainly because despite their wealth and despite their, you know, very cultured I guess their musical knowledge and their ability to, if they wanted to, they could have gone out and just produced with the biggest name producer out there and made just this immaculate album. But instead, they chose to record Is This It in the basement of this dude's place in New York, with really one microphone in one corner, another microphone in another corner, and then one microphone front and center. And it really produced kind of this cool, gritty sound that I really like. I've really gotten into. Some of my favorite songs by them: The Modern Age, Under the Cover of Darkness, let's see, Last Night. That's also a really good song. So The Strokes, check out The Strokes. Rat-a-tat. This band, yeah, I think it's a band, but their most well-known song, if you look them up on Spotify or YouTube, is this song called Loud Pipes. That's a really good song, but another really good song by Rat-a-tat is Drugs. Drugs is a really good song too. Casablanca by this guy named Low Deep T. I didn't hear this song until actually like about a week ago when I was in a coffee shop, and it was entrancing. Like, I loved this song. Maybe that's because I was in a coffee shop, but I don't really know. But anyways, Casablanca by Low Deep T. Budapest by this guy, he's from England, I think, George Ezra. Really an awesome song, a very like uplifting song that I'll put on anytime when I'm on the road or I'm traveling. And I just don't feel like, doing all the things that you have to do to make traveling fun, like get train tickets or, get up and actually do something. I'll just put on Budapest by George Ezra, and it's really a cool song. I do listen to a little bit of rap. I've been listening to a lot more rap actually here than I really ever had before. 25 Bucks by Danny Brown. I really underestimated. I did not think that Danny Brown, being associated with 2 Chainz and some of the other like borderline retarded rappers out there, I did not think that 25 Bucks was going to be that Danny Brown's lyrics would be as profound and really as descriptive and colorful as they are on 25 Bucks. So check that song out. Let's see. Hit the Road Jack, originally done by who originally did Hit the Road Jack? Maybe it was Ray Charles. But this the Hit the Road Jack version that I really love is a cover, a tribute that was done by Willie Nelson, Norah Jones, and Wynton Marsalis, who, in my limited understanding of jazz music, I know that Wynton Marsalis is like the most hated trumpet player out there. There are so many other trumpet players: Dizzy Gillespie, Louis Armstrong, I think it's Chet Atkins or something like that. Very talented trumpet players that are exponentially more talented than Wynton Marsalis. Everybody just seems to have a boner, critics included, for Wynton Marsalis. So that's the only shortcoming, I guess, of that song. Foster the People's new album, Supermodel, really an awesome album, a great follow-up album to, what was the name of their last album? Torches. And Torches was Foster the People's, really their first album that had Pumped Up Kicks, Hell in a Beat, a few other songs that really made Foster the People mainstream. Supermodel is a great follow-up album to Torches. So check that out. Foster the People, Supermodel, their album Supermodel. I have been listening to, as I said, a little bit more rap, so I've been listening to a little bit more of Childish Gambino. And granted, yeah, Childish Gambino might just write down these very clever 2-line verses and then just mash them together into a song. But I can't argue with the fact that he's very prolific, very smart. He does a lot of writing, a lot of video production, a lot of just super creative stuff. He's a smart dude, and his rhymes some of his lines are just absolutely fantastic. What's the name of the song? I think it's Sweatpants or World Star, Bed Piece. Some of his better songs. I don't remember which one, but the line is, got a glass house in the Palisades, something, white neighbors, OKKK, something like that. So, Childish Gambino, check him out. And the last one on this list, Drink You Away by Justin Timberlake. One of my favorite songs, actually, because I know, okay, call me a homo because Justin Timberlake was in NSYNC or whatever. Justin Timberlake is a bro king. Okay, what does that dude do? Lives the dream, probably just bangs supermodels, plays golf, and he's actually good at golf. I wouldn't doubt it if Justin Timberlake was a part of the Dip Brotherhood, and he has an amazing voice. My roommate Dan, his brother, his older brother, is actually a music teacher at like an elementary school, but he's very well versed in music theory, the certain nuances that make a song, that make the production quality of a song what it is. And I know plenty of people who are like metal guitarists and everything that love Justin Timberlake. Drink You Away, a fantastic song by Justin Timberlake. So check that out too. Let's see. That's actually about it. My list has the wells run dry as far as my list is concerned. So thank you guys again for watching the latest installment of the Snuff and Stuff video series. I will be coming back a little bit later and doing another Snuff and Stuff on the, I lost my pair of Klipsch S4 in-ear headphones, which I loved. It sucked that I lost them. But when I was in the airport in Rome and I realized that I had lost my Klipsch, I just went to this little travel store and bought a pair of Sennheiser CX300s, which were pretty much the earbuds, the headphones that got me hooked on good sound quality, on audiophile, like high quality headphones and everything. So I'll come back and do another Snuff and Stuff, sort of a review, I guess, on the Sennheiser CX300s. And then I'll also probably come back and do, along with that video, some of my favorite books and poems and stuff like that, just because I've been doing a lot of reading, probably more reading than I've ever done before in my life over here in Rotterdam. And I've noticed more and more that I really, really enjoy reading. And it's really beneficial for, I guess, cognitive function. It's very beneficial to read. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in my next video. As I said, it's a wonderful day here in Rotterdam. Probably about to go to the park. Actually, no, probably about to go work out and then go to the park. Probably just grill out. I don't know, maybe take a dip there. Definitely take a dip there, actually. Play some guitar later. I don't know. We'll see what happens, because God knows I should be studying right now or doing my case for supply chain management, but I don't really feel like it. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again, and if you have topics, again, that you would like to suggest for future Snuff and Stuff videos, feel free to hit me up with them. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I've said before, I really don't give a shit. I'll try to follow you back if I see fit. But my username is @DrewBysnackz, DrewBysnackz. So hit me up. I always just like to follow people back and see other people's pictures. I always just try and take pictures of stuff that I find interesting, cool stuff that I see during my travels and all that stuff. So thank you guys again. Feel free to hit me up and keep on dipping. Thanks for watching.